and you don't want to get in a gunfight. As you see all my videos, I talk about everything I do is how to avoid gunfights. That's the whole idea. We don't want gunfights. We want to avoid them. Okay, so that's why you're armed. That's why a lot of people think, well, you're armed because you want to shoot somebody. No, I'm armed because I'm trying to avoid problems, especially gunfights. So I've been in enough of them, I realize there's always a chance I could get hurt. So we're trying to avoid the gunfight. But if I can't avoid it, I have tactics to make sure I'm the winner. And so there is the gunfight. So now what we have is self-defense, and that is when the threat, or at least one of the threats, are within feet of you, close to you. They're going to do harm to you. And you have to take some kind of action or you're going to be harmed. That's self-defense. And that's preparation again. You hear me talk about the 38 hammerless, hammerless airweight 38. That's why. It's in my pocket. All I got to do is point my pocket at the threat when he's within feet of me. Or all of the threats. It don't make any difference. And because they don't realize and understand I'm armed, I'm ready to shoot them. Even though they're thinking about shooting me, I already know I want to shoot them. I just don't know which one's first. And so that's the self-defense type stuff. Now, I say the what do you call it? The gunfight. Preparing for the gunfight. Now in Paris, they came in with AK-47s. Why? Okay, one of the reasons was to strike fear. The AK-47, the projectile, it's a rifle, is powerful. It goes through things. So it's maximum damage for minimal weight. In other words, a rocket can do more damage, but it's going to take more weight. The AK will do more damage in less time, and it's easier to maneuver for a person. Okay. Another thing is the AK-47, like I say, is a rifle. So in other words, and that particular rifle was designed for gunfights. Military type gunfights is what it was designed for. In other words, you're fighting against an army. You know what I mean? So you don't want little dinky bullets hitting them. You want a good sized bullet hitting them and all this type of stuff. You want the bullet to be able to go through things and stuff like that. So another thing they were thinking is not only the damage they're going to be doing, that's why they're using the AK, but also they understood they are going to be in a gunfight. This is why when the rescuers showed up on site, they were outgunned. Why? They brought handguns. And a handgun is for self-defense. What did I say? Self-defense within feet. That's what the handgun is designed for. That's why I talk about people to get the AK-47, 4 magazines, and a case of ammunition. Just in case you're coming up against somebody that wants to get into a gunfight with you. Because we don't want gunfights. So the rifle is a much better tool if you're going to be in a gunfight than a handgun. And I know a lot of people think, well, I want to get a big 45 handgun, this type of stuff. Okay, yeah, but it's still a handgun. So it still has its limitations, and it's still best for self-defense. And that's one reason why I kind of feel sorry for the police. And now in the old days, in the 70s, I used to run around with the police. And sheriff department. I ran around with the sheriff department. And yes, we had handguns. We carried handguns, and we also had a shotgun, and we also had rifles. And because the sheriff department, it's a little bit different. Deputies look at things a whole lot different than police do. Deputies are more morally motivated than legally and liability motivated. They want to do the right thing, and the law takes second place to doing the morally proper thing. And so, okay, now what we've covered already was the self-defense within feet. The gunfight is when it's not directly at you. It might be, the worst thing would be you're in a big room and the people standing close to the gunmen are getting shot. They're the ones that should be in self-defense mode. You need to be prepared for a gunfight mode because you're having time to put your plans into action. Okay, or like I say, if they're in another room or another part of the building, stuff like that, you have time to barricade yourself in, arm yourself for however you're going to arm yourself, put your plans into action to wait for the rescuers to come help you. Okay, now there's the third thing that happens, and that is survival. And if you don't have a plan for self-defense within feet. Okay, you don't have a plan for self-defense. So this guy's going to pull out this weapon, whether it be a handgun, an AK-47, a knife, a big stick, or just beat you. It doesn't make any difference. You don't have a plan for self-defense. You're going to be in survival mode. And survival mode is panic, and hopefully you won't bleed out, and hopefully you won't go through all the pain that you're scared of. So that's how survival is going to help you in a self-defense mode. In other words, you have no idea, no plan, no preparation. You're pretty much screwed. You are at the mercy of this person that's fixing to hurt you. Okay, now maybe you might try getting on your knees and begging for mercy. I don't know. When you get in survival mode, you do all kinds of weird things. So, especially in the self-defense survival mode. Don't hurt me, I got children, I don't know. People are going to do whatever they're going to do because they're scared. They have no plans. They have not prepared. Okay, that's in the self-defense mode, up close. The gunfight mode. The gunfight mode, and you haven't prepared, you haven't planned, and so what you're going to be doing is going into survival mode. And that survival in a gunfight type of thing is going to be, you're going to take cover. They do that. You hear about this all the time. People get underneath their desk. People will run out, even though they're running out into more gunmen, or the rescuers are trying to come in and help, and people keep running at them, and each person is running at them. They're at a split second got to see if they have a firearm in their hand. And if they do have a firearm, they have to make a decision. Is this an armed citizen panicking, running out, or is this a bad guy mingling in with the scared civilians? See, so they've got to make all these judgments. And that's what happens when you're in the survival mode in a gunfight. In other words, you're not really in the gunfight, but the gunfight could be coming to you, and you have no plan. You never thought about barricading yourself in. You think it's best just to hide. Get underneath the desk. Let me get behind these boxes, or let me just run away. I did an exercise. Like I said, I learned a lot. I got a lot of my experience and let me see, how do you say it? Knowledge and stuff from all the exercises. I've done a lot of exercises and different scenarios with different kinds of people, organizations. I've worked with a lot of different things, and I did this one lady for home defense, and what she did on this particular kind of thing, I told her I'm going to make entrance into your house, and then you've got to defend yourself, because I wanted to know what she knows and how she's thinking. And so I told her, leave all your doors unlocked and your windows open. And so I'm going to come in some way or another, and you do what you're going to do. This is my basic way I used to teach. Find out what they know first, and then build on it. And so I opened the door slowly. I came in. I got my flashlight out. I started flashing it around. It's at night, and I started doing all this stuff. And I went through her house and didn't find her. What happened? She ran out the back door. So her plan, she heard me come in, so her plan was to run out the other door. So that was her plan. Run away scared. Okay, no consideration. That was one thing. She was supposed to call the cops and 911 kind of thing. And what I teach people, when you dial 911, you dial 911, you tell them that you're having an armed intruder, or you think he's an armed intruder, and you don't know how many, and you give them an address, and then you lay the phone down. You don't talk to them. 911 wants to keep talking to you. They want more information, more information. Why? It's the benefit of the policeman that's coming to your rescue. Okay, the first thing is, when you're talking, your mindset isn't on the plan, your plan, and making it work. So you don't talk to them, and you have to lay the phone down. They can listen to what's going on, and then it's no big deal. If you want to describe these people, there's 3 of them, and they're black, and they're wearing hoodies, or you can say whatever you want to. They're going to hear you, and they have it recorded. So. And like I say, they're going to be asking you all these questions, and if you want to say something when the phone's laying there, that's okay. But you want to have the phone up to your head, you are not, like I say, getting ready. You're not arming yourself, preparing yourself to do what you have to do. So that's why I'm not a big 911 kind of guy. And that's why her tactic of running out the back door wasn't a good plan. Because if I had another person with me, in which a lot of entries are done both the front and the back, usually it's simultaneously. Sometimes they'll bang on one door while they're making entry on the other. So and besides that, if she would have called the police would have been outside, and they don't want to come in. It's their job. They've been trained to do it, and they will. But it's a little spooky. And what's going to happen is they're getting ready to come in. It's dark, and they're on their flashlight. They're looking around the bushes to make sure there's no others out there waiting for them. And so then all of a sudden you come running out the door, bam, they might shoot you. See, so, and it's the same thing in a gunman type situation. When you start running around crazy, you're just surviving, you're at everybody's mercy. And that's why I really don't know how many people have been accidentally shot. I don't have any idea how many people were accidentally killed, like either pushed down the stairs or, I don't know. They don't, they probably have, they used to have records on that stuff. When I was training SWAT teams, and I used to teach people how to survive kidnapping and gunfights, and at that time I was studying the records, police records, on how all this stuff was going, how it all came down, stuff like that. So that would give me further insight on what I need to do. So in other words, you have your self-defense. Within feet, you have the gunfight, where it gives you more than a few seconds to think. Like I say, self-defense is usually within 2 or 3 seconds. So. But if you have more than that, in other words, it's probably a gunfight that you're getting ready to get yourself into. And then there is just plain old survival. Not thinking, no plan, no ideas on what you're going to do. Confusion to everybody around you. So I hope I've explained it where you understand it's not that simple for the rescuers. That's the whole idea about this video. Don't depend on the rescuers. The idea is for you to prepare, for you to have a plan, for you to be able to make a decision. Now we're right back to the 3-man militia. I had somebody was saying, well, if you were in that situation in a restaurant, and I said, well, I spend a lot of time with my 3-man militia friends because it is a relationship, and to nurture this relationship, it's not like I say, we go, I say some are paramedics. It's not like we run around and start looking for sick and injured people. We don't spend our time doing that kind of stuff. We spend our time nurturing our relationship with each other. We learn other things besides the paramedic kind of stuff. We learn other things besides the shooting. And it all boils down to we are learning to trust and respect each other. And we learn what the other person is good at. And even though we're a 3-man militia and paramedics, he is a real paramedic. So I will let him do his thing. Now, if we were at a big shooting like that, and it's all over, then he's going to say, because he's going to know my abilities, and he's going to say, Mike, go over there and take care of them while I take care of these people. Because he's going to know these people need his help, not my help. They need his help. So it's a trust and understanding, and that's what makes that relationship. That's what makes the 3-man militia so valuable. As a 3-man militia, we will be able to take charge of the situation if necessary. This is Mike, NoStressMike.com.